What's going on, guys? GM Bush back with another video. Today we're going to talk about Madden again. Madden season's almost here. Although I prefer the sport of baseball a little more, Madden is definitely my go-to game. So I'm going to have a lot more knowledge, a lot more videos on Madden. I think it's a little more of a comfort zone for me. Um, but I wanted to talk about day one Madden, especially as a no money spent player, what to do, I guess, things of that nature, right? So before we get into it, as always, if the video helps in any way, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, it helps me a ton. But let's get into these tips. Again, this is specifically catered to no money spent. It works for everyone, but a lot of people are going to go out and they're going to go spend $200 on packs on day one, get a God Squad, and they might not attack things quite the same way because they don't need to. So, anyways, that being said, so when you start up Madden, the biggest thing you want to think about is how you're going to create your team and what kind of team you want to make and what players you want. If you're getting one of these deluxe editions, especially the MVP edition, and I forget what the other one's called, but there's like a next tier edition digitally. If you're getting one of those editions, it's coming with a lot of free stuff. You're going to have a free elite player pack. There's going to be loyalty rewards if you've played Madden in the past. There's going to be I know in the digital edition, there's like the Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes pack that comes with Wes Welker and Rodney Harrison or Randy Moss and Deion Sanders, things of that nature. So you want to think about who you're going to have on your team, because what you don't want to do is, let's say you get this edition that comes with, I think there's like an 86 Tom Brady you can get. So if you get that and you have an 86 Tom Brady, but then you go out and you take another quarterback in one other free pack you get, and then there's a free quarterback you get from doing solos, and you do those solos. Now you've gained yourself three quarterbacks when you need to kind of fill out all your positions, you know? So try to have a plan for the cards you're going to take and how you want to fill out your team. So for me personally, I'm going to probably take the Patrick Mahomes pack, which comes with Randy Moss and Deion Sanders, as much as I love my Patriots guys and Wes Welker and Rodney Harrison. But with that being said, I know I don't need three. If you want to get two or three good receivers and corners right off the bat, I know I've already got one marked for each with Randy Moss and Deion Sanders. So that's the first thing you want to do before you get into anything, is just think about what you're getting from your packs, how you want to attack it. Second thing you're going to want to think about and do is solos. So there's a bunch of solo challenges. They're always there at the start of every year in Madden. These range from like easy level solos like picking plays and that's completing the challenge, or rushing for 5 yards, or things of that nature. And then they get progressively harder, and eventually you might have full game solos, something like that. I know they've mentioned that there's going to be these solos called the campaign, I believe. These are going to be really easy solos. They're going to help you level up early. You're going to be able to do challenges with them. That's going to be huge. So knock out those campaign solos. You're going to get some free like 75, 76, 77 overall cards, I believe, that you can actually upgrade later on to get to like a nat form of their base elite. We'll take gold players as well. But so you're going to want to knock out solos right away, and you're going to accumulate a lot of coins that way too. That's something people don't really talk about, is you might go do 20 minutes of solos and come back with 15,000 coins. Uh, they don't feel always rewarding when you do a solo challenge and says, oh, you made 200 coins off of it or whatnot. But you'll actually be surprised with how quickly it'll come along. Now, alongside that, once you do those, there's also going to be, I believe, team affinity solos. If they're like last year, they're going to be a lot of full game solos, but they're going to get you team builders and team captains, and these cards are going to be huge for rounding out your team. So we're going to just kind of talk about that too. If you look here, this is one of the team captains. It actually starts as an 85, but he does upgrade to an 89 with about 20 training. And you get this card just from solos as well. So let's say there's 4 team captains. Let's say you wanted to take John Lynch, right? So that means you're going to have that strong safety position filled out. So there's not really going to be a need for another strong safety early on. Of course, you might have 2 strong safeties. You might run coverages that require 2. But for day one, just trying to get that elite team, if you have a choice between another strong safety or your first, I don't know, let's say tight end, you should take the tight end, right? Fill out that team. But team captains are going to be huge because they're really high overalls for the start of the game, and they cost nothing. And for just like a direct comparison here, John Lynch, who again, he upgrades to an 89 with like 20 training, and you get his base 85, which is free through solos. that's a higher overall card than the highest base elites in the game. So the highest base elites are 88s. So this is huge for any team that's starting off. So yeah, just kind of recapping here so far, you're going to want to pick out and lay out your team before you start getting into all your free packs and whatever else, your loyalty rewards, and then start grinding out these solos. Again, you'll get John Lynch, or excuse me, you'll get a team captain. You could pick John Lynch. The other thing is going to be these team builders. So these are what the team builders look like. They're 84 overalls, I believe, for every team. This is another way you can round out your team. And think about it. If you're a Chargers fan, I suspect that you'll want Justin Herbert, right? So if you go for 84 Justin Herbert, there's your quarterback. Not a terrible card, you know. Decent accuracies for the start of the year. Great throw power. Not terrible speed for a quarterback at the start of the year. And that's the thing you have to remember too. If you're coming and you've played Madden last year and you're coming from Madden 21, you're used to like 99 everything's quarterbacks with like 89 to excuse me, high 80s to low 90s, maybe high 90s speed. So this card does look bad, but it's actually going to be really good on day one. It's probably going to throw a lot of dots. So keep that in mind, that the overalls and the stats may appear bad, but they're a lot better than you may actually think. Um, as well as Justin Herbert, here's another example one, Landon Collins. I believe Landon Collins comes in at a strong safety position, so with that being, considered here, you wouldn't want to go for Landon Collins and John Lynch. That's a perfect example of doubling down on a position that you don't really need to right away. But you can get all the team builders. You can't get all the team captains, I believe. That's going to be how that works, is that you can get all the team builders. And if that is the case, then you can eventually get Landon Collins and put him as your backup strong safety, move him around. Like, that's no problem. But we're talking day one specifically here. Round out those team with these free good elites that you can get from these solos. The next type of solos they're going to have is gridiron towers, excuse me. These are going to be, I would guess, a little more the difficult solos for starting off. You do get an 87 JC Jackson at 75 stars, so that's going to be pretty big. And then a lot of gold player rewards, coins, things of that nature. It's just another thing you can knock out. Don't be afraid. I know on day one, for myself personally, all I'm thinking about is, man, I want to hop in online. I want to play that. I want to play like a real game of Madden. I want to make my run at the Super Bowl and MUT seasons. I want to do maybe some draft mode. Maybe play some squads with some friends. I know all those things are tempting, but if you want to just round out your team and get a really good squad early, especially when you'll have weekend leagues coming up, I don't know how soon weekend league will start. I don't know how soon solo battles will start, but you're going to want to have a good team for those. So the sooner you can get that team, the better. So don't be afraid to spend a day or two just strictly doing solos. You're going to see like the top players playing online right away. You're going to see the guys who spend $200 rip packs and then just hop in online. Don't be afraid to not do that. Don't be afraid to just grind out solos for a day or two. Now, a couple other things to mention that I don't have images of, but I want to talk about quickly because I do think it's important to note, is one is there will be, I believe they're called EA Play solos. So as long as you have the game early, and by that I mean you either buy EA Play or EA Access, whatever I think it's called EA Play now, for the $5 a month, and you get early access that way. Or if you bought a special edition of the game that gives you 3-day early access trial, or however it's called. If you have either form of early access, there will be special solos called EA Play solos. Those will be huge. Knock those out. They typically have decent rewards for starting off, and they will disappear when the game fully launches. So you're going to want to get them done ahead of time. Those are going to be solos that you're actually going to want to do on day one. Yeah, and so then the last thing you're going to want to do, again, this is in my consideration, is don't be afraid to check out the market and look for things. So, for example, I know in past years on launch day there will be some gold cards that are just like dumb expensive. Of course your elites are going to be expensive, and I wouldn't expect to snipe those, quite honestly. Let's take Tyreek Hill. Let's say he's 300k on day one. You're probably not going to find Tyreek Hill for 20k. There might be one or two people who do. Those snipes do happen, but it's not worth. There's so much more you could do with your time the first few hours of Madden than sitting around praying for one of these god tier snipes, and I think you can make more coins during that time you'd be sitting around waiting. Now, if you got lucky in your first search, you found Tyreek Hill for 20k, that's great, but let's be real here, the likelihood of that is very slim to none. But there typically is a lot of high tier golds 78s, 79s that will go for like 10, 11, 12,000 coins. Maybe they go in sets. Maybe there's like some team captain type sets, like the old sets that they used to have. And it requires specific players from each team. I remember, God, this is years ago now. I think it was Madden 16 or so, or 15. There was a fullback on the Giants, and he was a 74 overall, and he was just a gold. And I'm not kidding. For months, that man went for 200K. But if you see one of these high overall or maybe low overall golds that's going for 10, 12K, don't be afraid to keep checking the market for it. People will just sell their golds for 1,000 coins, 2,000 coins, always. The elites people recognize have value, they don't recognize it with the golds. So don't be afraid to kind of skim the market, look for things, scan it out, see what you can find. That's going to be another way of making coins, but that's also the market is changing this year in the way they're using it. So I can't really comment too much on any more on that for now. But that's going to do it for me for day one tips. There will be more stuff. I will put out a video more on how you can make, more ways to make coins, what team captains maybe to pick, what team builders to pick. But I'll wait on that kind of stuff, especially the team builders, until we have more information, of course, because right now we only know about 3 or 4 team builders. But yeah, if it helps you out at all, guys, and you enjoyed it, or you want more Madden content, please let me know in the comments. I'm trying to kind of better my videos because I want to be able to help you guys the best I can. So please, any tips would be highly appreciated if you made it this far. And yeah, as always, guys, I appreciate you checking out the video, and I will be back with another video soon for Madden. See you.